to get the hang of it or the knack of it, and it makes the client look like you put days worth of work into the numbers that you're illustrating for them, and it's just powerful all the way around, especially from a fiduciary standpoint or understanding your client standpoint. And so, yeah, having very good success. I probably sat in front of, I want to say, a little over $6 million of potential new clients. I have booked and paperwork submitted for about 2 million right now. That's in process, and I have appointments coming up next week, which are my fifth and or sixth appointments, and that could be. They already seem to love me. Not trying to be arrogant in the least, but every appointment they keep saying, "Okay, what do we need to do? I like what you're showing me. I like what you're telling me. So how do we get this started?" And I have to tell them, "Well, we have one more meeting. We're going to go over this and that. And here's your plan. I want you to review it, write down questions, and dog-ear pages so we can update everything, make sure everything's exactly the way you want it to be." But that could be another couple $1 million of new business submitted. And that's not talking about clients that I'm still on my third appointment with. So it's just mind-blowing at this point of the power behind that seminar and the process itself. And I just want to say thanks to Brian Owens. He's my internal at True Choice. He's been knocking on my door. We've been on and off working together probably for 7 years or so. And the last conversation we had was about a year ago, where he put the word in my ear about Peak, and hey, you need to check out this seminar they're doing. They're bringing in $100 million a year. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that 1,000 times, right? But I went down to Arizona about a year ago or so for my first workshop. Went back recently to Texas, and I am following the program, and I have zero complaints. I'm actually sometimes laying in bed wondering why did I not find this or do this sooner? But what they say, better late than never. So I'll put myself out there. I will be open if somebody wants to shoot me an email or has questions about some of the stuff behind the scenes on a more transparent level. I'd be more than happy to answer questions that people would have. But that's it. I mean, that's all I got. I can't stall anymore for Dan. He said 2 or 3 minutes. I'm doing my best. But
I'm here, baby. I've been listening.
There he is. There's my man.
I've been listening to your whole story.
My whole story. Thanks, Dan. I don't know. I can't even articulate like what's happening. It seems like a cosmic miracle. It's very, very rewarding.
I think you articulated it, and you can't. It basically just means you grabbed onto it, and because you devoted yourself, committed to it, it changed your life.
I see that's going to happen. It hasn't changed it yet. We give it a couple more months for the process, for the policies to stick and things to get processed. But yes, I truly believe it's going to be a life changer for sure.
Well, see, in changing your life, though, I think people look at it differently. Sometimes we look at it one-dimensional versus three-dimensional. And change your life doesn't mean that everything comes to you right now. It means it puts you in a completely different mindset, a completely different view of what's going to happen. It gives you optimism. It provides the maximum hope. So you've changed your life. Overall, the financial rewards will come because then it just takes time for the cash to flow in from our business. It takes months. It's 6 months after you meet a client. Maybe you get paid. Right. Maybe. So the whole change in your life is changing what you see happening over the next several years.
One thing I will add, it's been a totally 180 in regards to the clients that I was getting in the past. Chasing them down, tell them to bring their statements. They show up without their statements. They cancel the appointments. These clients are showing up here with me as an executive presence to them. They have their statements. They are listening to my words. Like it's powerful. Like there's been no cancellations. You extend the confirmation out, bam, they reply, we'll be there. Like it's a breath of fresh air to say the least.
No, for sure. For sure. That's awesome. Congratulations. Good job, man.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate everything you've done to help me do this. You and sorry, I'm recovering. My brain's not working good, but Jimbo. Yeah. I just had surgery, so I'm still not.
We're here. We're here for you guys and gals, and we get our joy when we hear these kind of stories. We would make a lot more money if we didn't do this and we just focused on our own sales. Literally, but we get a lot of joy out of seeing other people being able to do what we tell them that you can do. No one ever believes I can't do what they do. Yeah, you can. You can. You just got to then devote yourself to the process, the education, and the goal of focusing on clients' needs first, your needs second. So, good job. I don't think today then we had a lot of other stuff planned, but were Ken and Scott, were they on? They're supposed to be, but I'm not sure if they made it.
They were not earlier. Let me see. Secure. No, I'm not seeing them on there. But there were a couple of questions going back to David about how many attendees did you have at your seminar?
It's been a minute, but I think I got the maximum response. I sent out 5,000 mailers. I think I got 40 respondents. I think I had 36 attendees between two seminars. And I think I booked, I don't remember now, but I think it was like 66% or 67% of everybody that was there. And some people still said, I'm traveling, call me in 2 months, things of that nature. So if I do get them to get on board, I'm talking over 70% appointment set ratio, and I haven't had a single person cancel one appointment in the whole process. It's mind blowing.
That's awesome. The other question they had was for AUM. Are you planning to use White Rock Capital
Yes,
or someone
100%.
else? Okay.
I'm sticking to the plan exactly as it's written. I'm doing about 98% of it. And it's not by choice. It's because I just don't understand, and I realize, I forgot to do that. But my goal is to do it exactly like Dan and Jim, if not better. And that's right, Dan, if not better than you guys. Coming up, I'm going to be your competition. We're going to work together in a team.
Do it.
I know, right? Bring it on.
Bring it on, baby.
One last question. Who did you use for your mailing? Which vendor?
It's been a minute. You guys have to bear with me. I'm recovering from a surgery, so my mind's foggy. But,
No worries.
I believe. What are the two you guys use? If you tell me that, I can tell you the two. He was at the training.
Leading Response?
He was at the training. Was his name?
Yeah, probably Leading Response. That was the guy there.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that's what. And they were spot on in regards to what you're going to send out and what you're going to get, almost to the 0.01% response rate. It was mind blowing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, that's it for questions. So I'll turn it back over to you, Dan.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
I'm going to bring up one thing that just kind of talks about what Dave was talking about there, and it's to make sure you're in this business to be successful. So, again, this isn't Dan and Jim. This is our process. So, we're going to have a contest, and everyone can enter in what they think the total production Jim and I have done for the last 10 weeks, starting October 1st until now. So everyone enter in your guesses, and let's see, Elizabeth, you can read them off as they come in.
We have 40 million, 40 million, 40 million, 10 million. Let's see, 3 million, 25 million, 42. Jim just said it. 60 million, 60 million, 42 million, 60 million, 62, 42, 30, 60, 30. Let's see. Oop. We have 60, 38, 45. Did I miss one? 40, 400.
Well, yeah, I think you're all there. Plus, Jim always stretches the truth, so you have to understand that about him, right? Always. But we will be at that level by the end of the month. But right now, we're at 51,915 of total production for the last 10 weeks. That doesn't include next week, or next week we have 2 or 3 signings. Week after that, we have some big clients. Maybe in the week right before the first, we might have some big clients that'll probably get us over to that $60 million number. So that's just the process. That's activity, getting in front of as many people as possible, putting them through process. They show up because they want help. They have needs. Right now, people are looking for security. They're looking for a plan. They're looking for someone that will be their most trusted advisor. And that's all we try to be. I was late now because I had a small client come in, but they wanted to finish their plan before the end of the year, so we finished their plan. It would be like an $800,000 annuity plan. Great for them, and it answers all their questions and their thoughts and their needs. And that $800,000 is not included in this, David, just to make sure you know, okay?
Yeah.
What about, I have a question here. What about for the whole year to date? And does that include AUM, that last one?
Yeah, from January until now, I think we're at 95, and we'll be at 100 million by the end of the year.
Shit.
Awesome. And does that include AUM? I'm sorry, I missed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was actually with a terrible first 8 months, literally, because we were in the negotiations to do our merge with AmeriLife and all that crap that took so many hours of every day. Now, literally, the moment that ended, our production exploded because we got back to work.
That makes sense.
Well, Jim, you raised the bar a little higher than that. I mean, if you knock off that first number on the million, I'm with you. I'm close.
There you go. There you go.
No, not like putting my feet to the fire on that.
Well, and again, it should. You know, Jim and I are like you guys. You're like us. We just are following the process that we created. That's the only difference right now. Literally, is the only difference, right? We know the process better because we did it. We know the process better because we created it. But it's something that anyone who has taken it and been full bore, every single person has succeeded at an ungodly level. Just tells you, if you're not going full bore, what in the hell are you doing here? Right? If you're not full bore, why? You're not changing your life. You're not getting what you want out of your business. You're not getting what you want out of your income. You're not getting what you want out of your success. And the whole goal is to build yourself up to that level. And you can't think you can't do it, because I guarantee you can do it. You just got to focus.
Most important part is we're actually helping people. That's what I tell them. It's like a passion. We're actually saving people's retirements for them.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think you guys can decide how to say it with your way of saying it, and I don't say it bragging or with ego to the clients, but I tell them the best part about my job is I get to change your lives, and I get to change them so much that you will not worry as much about your money. You'll be able to live life better. You'll be able to spend more money. You'll be able to completely be confident you're going to leave money to the beneficiaries if that's a goal, and you just won't have to be uncertain any longer, which the uncertainty is what gets rid of the anxiety. If we can get rid of the uncertainty, and that's the best part about our job, is we literally see our clients' lives changing before our eyes as we create the plans, adopt them, and implement them. And they understand that because we're so passionate about it. They know we're just going to do everything we possibly can to put them in a better position. And I think that's kind of the battle cry for next year. I wrote this data down, and let me find it. I wrote some information down because I answered questions on an article that AmeriLife is doing, and I always then say, okay, is there a better way that I can use the same data in the future? So I created. This is my draft working paper. How in the heck? There we go. So basically, in 10 weeks, right? We did 40 million of annuities, and the rest was in assets under management. So they want to know, how do we sell so many annuities? And it comes down to this. that you have to have what we call consistency of your entire business process. And that means consistency of philosophy, messaging, marketing and activity, planning and process, and teamwork and servicing. And you have to be consistent. And like we always tell you guys, no matter what, you got to be consistent. We've seen people, advisors, try a seminar, doesn't work, they never do a seminar again because like, oh God, these things suck. And we find that following the process 9 out of 10 times, if it works, it's a 90% consistency rate. The problem is you get an A in school, but strict consistency demands that you are 100% consistent. Jim and I are 100% consistent. We will never, ever deviate from that. And that kind of shows, which you guys all know, because of our consistent philosophy. We never change our philosophy. We say the same thing now as we did 3 years ago or 10 years ago. And we focus on those stage 1 and stage 2 of retirement planning. And it's funny because this is the cool thing. Our devotion consistency was proven just at our Christmas party because a long-term client came up to us at the event and they were telling us, they've been listening to the radio show and watched TV show for years, decade basically. And even though every show is completely different, they told us, but Dan and Jim, we hear the same things over and over and again. And we said, expect the same thing for the next 10 years. Right? So good. That means our messaging is beyond consistent, which is what we want to shoot for. Then consistency in marketing. That is the big thing, and that's what David was talking about. You have to be consistent in marketing, otherwise you're going to have issues because marketing is the only thing that's going to drive activity. If you don't, then you're going to have big problems. And if you give up on marketing, then you're not going to be able to produce more income. The consistent planning and process, which again was harped on by Dave, which is great. We let people know, we basically sold so much by not selling anything other than the plan. So we sell a plan. We don't sell annuities. We don't sell asset management. Those are just tools we use to make their plan work. And you have to get into that mindset. You're selling a plan. You're not selling an annuity, and you're not selling assets under management. You're selling the plan, which is now tangible, and they now have it, and they can understand it. They can read it. And it's not just trying to believe someone. It's now believing in their plan. And then the last big consistency is teamwork and servicing. Teamwork is huge because there's no way. I don't think any company I know with 2 advisors has done $50 million of business in 10 weeks. And it wasn't us. The staff had to process all the flipping business. So think about what it's like processing $1 million or $2 million of business. Think about what it means when, for the most part, 2 people processed all that business in about a 10-week time period. It's just ungodly. So because of them, we did the business. And then servicing, you got to now also continue to service because getting clients is harder than hell. Keeping them is easy. You just service them. And that's so I'm going to use this. I'm going to work on that and then come up with different ways to use that as different articles or just training mechanisms as well.
There was a question about your book. When will that be coming out, or is it available?
They are in the last phases. I've given them all my drafts back now, and I don't know if I showed you what the final book's going to look like.
I don't think so.
I'll give you a picture here. So I changed it. It was going to be called the Peak Financial Worry-Free Retirement Roadmap, but I decided to change it, and I changed it to the Golden Promise, featuring the Peak Financial Worry-Free Retirement Roadmap. And so that's what the cover's going to look like. Beautiful. They did a great job. AmeriLife's team did that for us, so I was really, really happy with what they did. The inside, when you turn this cover, it's going to basically have this data written out. And that's why I'm naming it the Golden Promise. A financial promise, projection, or plan that is verbal and not in writing, holds no weight, is a bunch of hot air. It's like fool's gold. A financial promise, projection, or plan in writing requires accountability, responsibility, worth its weight in real gold. So the whole book is about having an actual plan and the process you have to go through to have an actual plan. So they just did a great job, and all my edits are there. So I'm hoping, depending, who knows with Christmas and New Year's, Hanukkah, and all the other stuff being in there, when we'll get the final draft. But I'm assuming sometime in the next 30 days, it'll be ready for my final review. and then we'll have it available.
Nice. Now, they're asking, is this the book that they can license or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. It's gonna be you'll put
Hey,
your
Dan.
book on it, your own bio, etc.
Hey, Dan, it's Scott from Florida.
How you doing, man?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to thank you very much. When Ken and I left the San Antonio event, we got busy. I passed my 65 Wednesday, so that's done. We did have, we sent you an email with just some of our results. We had our dinner seminar. We implemented your whole process from start to finish for the seminars. We out of the 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we had to add Wednesday because we had so many people that responded. But we have 17 confirmed appointments in the next 3 weeks. We've got another 9 that we have to call after the first of the year because they're traveling. But we got another, I think, 40 on the reserve list that we still need to call back because we couldn't get them into our seminar. So just wanted to update you on our progress with that and how we're doing with your process with the seminars and everything else. So thank you very much for sharing that with us.
No, that's awesome. Hearing that kind of news, especially your first one, you dive in and you show that there's success with activity, with the process, and that's literally what you have to do. If you do it, we're going to have ungodly success. Just our little group that we're dealing with for the Peak Performance Platform. Let's say I think there's like a couple hundred people right now on it. We could be doing just ourselves $5 billion of business, just ourselves as a team, easy, right? And it's not hard. That's like nothing. Very easy. So, we can do as much as the largest IMOs out there just with the few people that are focused on getting business processed through the door the right way to solve the problems, needs, like Dave was saying. So, no, that's good. And I think, Scott, then one of the things that I just gave you like an extra tip on, which would be good for everyone here also, when you're at the workshop and, we collect the cards, the appointments right there. And there always is going to be somewhere between 25% or 1/3 of people saying, well, I don't have my calendar. I'm gonna wait and I'll get a hold of you. You get a hold of me, whatever. And we're like, no, we're not doing it that way. We're gonna set up a tentative. If you want to meet, we're gonna set up a tentative appointment, even if it's for 4 weeks from now. I'm gonna put you down for January 14th, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Doesn't mean we have to keep it, but that'll be our tentative appointment. It means you'll be in the system. It also means I can give you an appointment pack that you get to take home and start reviewing and, looking at the type of information you're going to have to put together for us to do a plan. But this way you won't fall through the cracks. And
Right.
I've never had one client ever say, okay, don't do that. And that way now they become part of the system because you never ever want to have to chase down these people because at the workshop, they love you. A day later, they love you a little less. 2 days later, they love you a little less. 5 days later, they love you less. 10 days later, they love you a lot less. So you have to make sure you get the commitments as quick as possible from them one way or another. So even though it's tentative, I don't care. That's a commitment, and you're not letting them weasel out of it.
Gotcha.
Right? And you don't even think about it. You're like, okay, we'll get a hold of you. But no, you want to make sure, we've done it so long, we know if we let them weasel out, we have a lower probability we're ever going to get them in the office, even though they probably need more help than anybody. What anything's come up as far as what you saw as either challenges or issues to work through, or sounds like everything went smooth? What was that? What's the bottom line?
No, the only thing now is, now we got to get all of the stuff out of the Dropbox for meeting number 1, meeting number 2, just making sure we've got our processes tight and all the information, just exactly how you guys do it. We're literally learning this thing as we're doing it. You know what I mean? So that's the next step. So.
No, that's awesome. Well, and the good thing is with the way that we pace our meetings, you don't have to be an expert at all the things because you can take your time and go through the Y charts or the nitrogen risk-alize, and that can be just one meeting. And you'll think, well, I'm going too slow, or I need to start attacking. No, the client's going to think, oh my God, this is the first time this guy or gal has ever spent time to educate me to a position where I can actually understand what I own currently. Right. And they aren't trying to sell me anything. They're showing me, here's what you have. Are you okay with it? And one of the things that I'll teach you now that you need to learn to be able to say, as you're working with the clients, especially that first meeting, my whole goal in working with clients is to get rid of as much of the anxiety and the fear that they have when they first come to see us. Okay? Because they have all these preconceived notions about everything, and none of the preconceived notions are positive towards you. Assume they are thinking so many bad things about you. Just assume that, because no matter what, they are. And all of you be like, what? I don't want people to think bad. Well, you're in the financial services game. They think bad about you. So we have to relieve all the pressure from them to allow them to stop feeling, that things are going to go bad or you're going to take advantage of them, and make them feel so much more comfortable. So one of the things I do at the beginning is I say, well, people always want to know, why do we provide these free consultations and then give you a free plan and not charge you any money and not put any pressure on you? It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? And they go, yeah, we were thinking that. We talked about that on the way here. And I said, let's look at some of just the numbers that we have found happen throughout our careers. For Jim and I, if we meet with 20 people and do a second opinion, we're going to tell approximately 3 of those people that you're in great shape, you're fine, there's nothing we can do for you. I go, so if you're one of the 3 out of 20 that I tell you you're in great shape, are you going to be mad, or are you going to feel comfortable that, hey, I've made the right decisions? They go, oh, no, we'll feel fine. I said, so you might be one of the 3. I have no idea, because we haven't went through your plan. I have no idea what you have. I said, but then of the next 17 of those, 7 will need moderate changes made to allow them to achieve their goals. 10 of them will need full-scale changes to be made to achieve their goals. So if we have a chance to work with 17 out of 20 people, is that a good reason for us to do all this without charging you and without putting any pressure on you? And what do they say? They get it, right? You have to talk on their terms and explain why, because you cannot go into the situation thinking that, we all are riding on our white horses, which we are. They don't see that. They see us, riding on the black horses with a hood over our face. So we have to now put ourselves in the position to help explain to them why we're doing these things, because no one else is doing them, and it will sound too good to be true to 99.9% of the people you get in front of. Okay? Just assume that.
And there was a question about that. Do you say this at the seminar before asking them to book their appointment?
Sometimes I'll use that both. I'll use that at the seminar, but I also will use it in the first meeting with them, because by the time they now are in the seminar, there's less of a commitment. When they come meet with you, they're in front of you, there's more of a commitment. So you have to explain again, because you want to get their walls down. If you don't get their walls down, they're not going to tell you the truth about what they're trying to achieve. You got to get their walls down. So no, use them in all cases. Same thing I use, and that is the second way that I try to break down the walls. They say, it sounds too good to be true. I know. We're not going to charge you anything, and we're going to give you a plan that no one else will give you, everything in writing. I said, why will we do that when we could charge $5,000 or $10,000 for the plans plus make all of our fees? I said, if we did that, we'd get less clients. So by not doing that, we get so many more clients, and we actually make so much more money by not charging the excessive fees. But we're going to ask you, and I tell them this right at the workshop, and I tell them this face-to-face multiple times when we meet, we're going to ask you if you're happy. We want you to refer people to us. Is that a good deal if we don't charge you fees, and then all we do in exchange is ask you if you're happy to refer people to us? Again, it explains why we do things a certain way. Plus, it just tells them that's our business model. So that's our business model. We want to do everything we can to educate you. We want to do everything we can to implement your plan. We want to do everything we can to keep you as a client. And we want to do everything we can that makes you feel like you want to refer people to us. That's our business model. And I tell them that because they need to know that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Dixon said that helps to get rid of the elephant in the room. Yeah.
Yep.
Question mark. Yeah, pretty much.
I think one of the big things now, you tell me if other people have questions, but one of the big things now is, I think, to know, have a great time with your families for this holiday season. I'm lucky, I think next week, both my daughters drive home. They'll be here for about 3 weeks. My one is just today. She just finished her last final in her second to last semester at USC Law School. So she only has one more semester left. So she's through. She only has like 4 more months of school. They'll both be home for 3 weeks. So we're going to enjoy it. I won't do much work during that time period, but same thing. Hopefully you have a great holiday season, but also take the time to then do 2 things. One, plan out what it is, envision, write down what you want to happen in 2025. Don't keep it in your head. That isn't worth anything. Write it down, put it on paper, what it is you want to achieve. And that could be on an educational process. It could be based on the system and learning system. It could be based on what types of marketing you want to do. It could be based on how many people you want to be in front of. It could be based on how many people you want to attract as new clients on a monthly basis or an annual basis. All those things then start to be your business vision board, right? And if it's written down, you have a lot higher probability it's going to happen. If you don't write it down, it's just luck then. Kind of same thing we tell our clients. If you don't have your plan in writing, what chance is it that it's going to come true? You still have a chance, but lower. You need to put it in writing, and then you need to commit yourself to those things. So I think that's one thing you want to make sure that you're doing is writing those down. The second is, if you have time, start reviewing every single piece of data that's available to you on the website, including the PowerPoints, including the materials, because the more you become accustomed to them and feel comfortable, the better you're going to be with them. It's across the board. For Gemini, it's just second nature because we've been doing it so long. It will become that way to you. It doesn't feel like it now, but it will become that way to you as well.
Yeah, getting access to that and keep going through everything. That makes sense. The more you see it, the more you remember it. One of the questions, do you include alcohol beverages in your dinner seminar?
If they buy them, we don't. They can buy their own, so the wait staff will be there. And we have clients that'll get, a glass of wine, get a bourbon and Coke, whatever, and they're fine to do it. We don't, because if you do, then it would get excessive, and then half the people would be freaking drunk.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because it'd be me if I'm there. Oh, free drinks, great. All right, bring me a couple more.
That's awesome. And I think that's the last question. Does anybody else have some more questions or some comments about things that they've tried, good, bad, indifferent? Don't be shy. Step on up.
Well, I think another topic I'll cover real quick, and that is right now with people coming in, clients coming in, pre-election, post-election, and I thought I'd see a difference in them as far as either not worrying as much or worrying more, whatever, but it's been the same this whole year I think that's why we did so much business since about October, was people just been freaked out by everything, the market being so high, more than twice overvalued. The election, we're just where the world is, China, Russia, you name it, tariffs, all these things. People are just worried right now. And you want to make sure, one of the things I wrote down in that interview questionnaire answering was you want to focus on attracting your perfect client. All clients are not perfect for you. And you got to stop thinking that you'll work with everybody, because you don't want to work with everybody. You want to attract your perfect client. So that's another job for you to do between now and the end of the year, is list out in writing who your perfect client is, what age group, maybe what occupations, how many assets do they have, and what type of assets do they have, what are their specific goals, what do they fear, and what are they lacking, and what are they confident about, and what do they have. And that allows you now to tailor your own message to attract your perfect client. And that's all Jim and I do. We only want to attract our perfect clients. So we have great clients, and they follow through in their plans because we are selective in how we're marketing. Okay?
Yes, someone said ideal client profile. That makes sense.
And I think that's key. We just do it naturally, but it's not something naturally done. So that's why I'm trying to make sure you guys all know about it.
Add it to the vision. Do you tend to use the same location for your dinner seminars? That just popped up.
Yeah, we use Ruth Chris in Sacramento and Roseville. We use Scott's in Folsom. We use Hawks in Granite Bay. We're starting a new one about 35 minutes outside, more to the southwest side, and that'll be our first foray there. But we've been getting a lot of clients from that area. They just had to drive a lot, so we're going to open that one up in January. But yeah, we like the same ones.
Oh, go ahead. Do you see any market fatigue in using the same locations?
There's always going to be market fatigue, but for us, we have no idea really where the people are coming from, because we're doing radio, we're doing TV, we're doing the seminars. We now have the digital starting to be up and running. I think 4 months, so probably by March, I think it'll be running full bore. Everything will be dialed in, including a hour workshop that's on there. And we don't know really where the people are coming from, because they might come to a dinner seminar, but it might be because they've been listening to our radio show for the last 5 years, and now they get a mailer and like, oh, that's those guys on the radio. I guess I'll go to their workshop. Or they'll see a TV show and they'll come in, or they'll go to a seminar. And even if they don't turn in the car, they'll watch the TV show or listen to radio. Then they'll call in from them. So it's really right now, really, really difficult unless the client for sure says, nope, I never heard you on the radio, never heard you on the TV. I only came because of the mailer I got.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And are you still doing webinars, or is it only in person right now?
No, we haven't done the webinars in a while. We're setting it up where we're going to have on-demand webinar. I filmed it in Atlanta, I think in August or September, whenever we went back there to film it. So I filmed it and redid it, and we're going to be launching that via digital, I'm guessing in January. So we can do online, or we can just say, okay, we're going to have a webinar at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and then just play it.
Okay. And then do you have your clients all come into the office, or are some of them via Zoom?
Oh no, some are Zoom, but vast majority, 95% of our clients, I'd say a 19 out of 20 are probably going to be office appointments, because most of them are local. If they're not local, then we'll do Zooms, or if sometimes they might be 40 minutes outside, still local, but 40 minutes, we'll say, okay, let's do the first 1, 2, or 3 meetings by Zoom. And then when I design your plan, I want you to come in, and I'm going to give you your binder, and we'll meet face to face. You take it home, and then we'll decide how we meet afterwards. So we try to be flexible, but the more people that you can get in front of in the office, the more we want, because we're able to build a lot better relationship with them that way.
Yeah, you can't beat face to face. I agree. What city is the new location that was asked for the seminar? You mentioned a new city or a new location. Okay. And then, do you have competitors that go to your seminars?
Maybe, but we don't care. Let them. What are they going to do? Be able to copy us and be as good as us? No.
Yeah, that's fair. That is the last question so far. Oh, wait a minute. He didn't hear the response to what city that was. Sorry.
Elk Grove. Why? Is Jake trying to get out there and market against us?
I guess so.
He would do something like that. David, too.
Yeah, where'd he go? Yeah, for sure. Any other questions?
Maybe just call people, just ask them, what are they planning? Let's bring Winnie. What's she planning to do for 2025? What's the goal, and how hard are you going to work? Or are you just going to be a slug? What's the goal?
I'm gonna work so hard that I have to call you to consult.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the 884 in Tagalog.
All right. See, I like those kind of threats. Give them to me all day long.
We love you.
Awesome, thank you.
Our classes, our batch.
That's good. All right, how about anybody else? How about Kakita?
No.
Classmate, don't be shy.
Oh, muted.
Don't be shy, classmates.
No, can you hear me? So I have to
Yes.
call in on my phone.
Hi, Chiquita.
I am doing my 2025 business plan now, and I did try a dinner. I didn't share, but it wasn't very successful. But nonetheless, I guess it was successful. So I had one very small annuity come out of it, but what also came out of it was some future business. So I really marketed to clients and prospects that I knew that had some money. So I didn't do a big mail, I just pulled from my own database. And so I have one client that we finally worked on this rollover that she had from a former employer. So that's about $400,000. And then her husband has an IRA. So we are going to probably peel off about $200,000 to $300,000 of his IRA money for an annuity. And then I had a conversation with a client that since starting with the program, her money was outside at Vanguard, and I was just the broker of record. So just through the process, I told her, she finally came on board and moved the money over to my broker-dealer, who's Osaic. And so now, with everything going on, and she's concerned about the market, she was hesitant because she didn't want to pay the ongoing management fee. So she's on board with that, and now she's on board with protecting some of her money because she is retired. She has a pretty healthy pension. She was an attorney, and now this money she inherited from her parents, and it hovers around $1 million. But where she retired young, and the money needs to last her for a very long time, she's finally open to having a conversation about an annuity to protect some of those assets. So yeah, that all came from just inviting people. They didn't necessarily attend, but it's potential business that's in the pipeline.
Okay, well, that's another way of getting activity. And one thing I want to bring up also is, I find that the males, when they first start a workshop, they end up having more success at the beginning versus the females because men always will fake it till they make it. Women have a hard time doing that stuff. Okay, so
We know how to fake too. Come on.
you need to fake it till you make it and pretend like you're that person already, like the men do, and then you will gain more confidence and more success immediately because you don't even realize, even just with what you know now, you're 100 times smarter than every client that's going to be listening to you. By far. It's like it's that much, even though we all want to make sure, we feel comfortable in that zone. You got to get out of the comfort zone. You know so much more than anybody else. Project that, and these things will start being even more successful for you.
Thank you. And I do have one question. So if we are transitioning existing clients, so thinking about new clients, I'll utilize a third-party money manager for new assets that I bring on board next year. But for existing clients, how would you go about just introducing the idea from me being the manager to now using a third-party money manager, or then maybe an additional
Sure.
fee
I think that's the easiest one because basically it comes down to you have now progressed your career to the point of being a retirement income planning specialist versus just managing the money. And we have to use different strategies to manage money these days than we used 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago. And it's much better to use an institutional style money manager to help do those things for the client. And we think we can then protect their downside more, and we think we can give them the type of rate of return they're looking for, even while protecting their downside. And you let them know your job now isn't to manage money, it's to manage the money managers to make sure their money's going to be in the right places. And if money manager A doesn't do well, you can use a different money manager. You can't fire yourself. You never, ever, ever want to be the manager of the money, ever. Because then if it sucks, they're going to fire you or you have to fire yourself. Always use a third-party money manager because then, okay, fine, fire ABC, get DEF in. Fine, then you still retain the client.
Yeah, so I came from an environment where we could not use third-party money managers. And now that I'm independent, it's just something that I need to explore, that I want to explore. So,
I want you to explain that to your client before. I got to tell you the truth, I was held captive. I couldn't do what I was able to do, so that's why I branched out. And now am doing this and this and this to be able to make sure I'm providing you the best possible services and products.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. All right. How about Bill? He's next on my list. I see his face right there. Your mute's off, but I can't hear you. Can everybody hear him?
No, I can't hear him either.
I think your mic's off. There you go. Nope. Lost you. He's probably doing it on purpose because he doesn't want to talk, so he's just going.
He's not showing muted.
He's muted. Okay.
Somewhere he's muted.
That's good. Well, if you come back on, we'll get him. Okay, Ben, anything going on with you?
I'm muted. Well, I'm working on my 2025 plan here. I did a couple of educational seminars this past year, and I've really been incorporating numerous parts of the plan, and any even new people or younger people that I get in is important to do that. But in 2025, I plan on doing, I'm going to at least get my first dinner seminar at that particular point. I've got a couple of educational seminars that I'm working on here. That's kind of where I've been getting my feet wet. But my plan is to get into that first dinner seminar because that's my ultimate goal. That's what all the troops really seem to be doing here and finding great success. And so it's taken me a while to keep dabbling around here again, but it's time to get off the dime on 2025. And so that's my plan. We're going to have a couple more educational seminars, and then we're going to be shooting for that first dinner seminar. I have a kind of a different situation here because I got a client base. I service about a 100-mile radius of my office, and so I've got about 3 different cities kind of focuses going on here. One of those places that I service has got a wealthier community, and I'm not sure if to host a seminar, 80 miles away from, my base or home, exactly how that works. That might be something that you could tell me if you did that in your starting point.
If you service that area, then you do it. You do Zoom meetings, and you let them know once you build a plan, then they can come in and meet with you, so you don't end up having to waste their time, your time, them not committing because it's so far away. So no, that can work.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, good. How about Michael? Uncle James, looking all cool in your office.
Can you hear me when I call back?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you go, Bill, and then Michael, you can jump on. Yeah, Bill, go ahead.
No, the only thing I have to say is that I moved from Tampa to Fernandina Beach. So it was a pretty massive move. So we just literally moved. I got internet yesterday. So anyway, I'm in a whole new area, a whole new group of people. So it's all world's the oyster, right?
Oh, that's exciting.
So Dan, I'm going to be at the beach, and I'll be finding all kinds of guys.
Good.
I got a lot of retirees around me too. There's that.
Yeah, definitely down there, Florida, for sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good. Oh, is Michael, are you on the call? Oh, there you go.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm well, thank you. So I am working on 2025 business plan. I actually own a PNC agency and really have not ventured much into the financial services realm. And the goal is to venture into it in 2025. I actually booked appointments already, like with Leader Response, because I don't know how to set the budget for these type things. So I want to talk to them, tell them about my target market. I am north of Atlanta, so there's a lot of wealth in and around my area. I kind of gone through my PNC book, and a number of my clients use either Morgan Stanley or Merle, and so forth.
Lucky for you.
My approach.
Lucky for
Well,
you.
you know what? Before I met you all, the approach I was using, I kept getting things like, well, you my insurance guy. They didn't have the confidence that I could handle their financial piece. But going through your presentation and starting to help them see what they're paying from a fee standpoint, and that maybe they're not actually getting the returns that they think they're getting, I think I can start to create a wedge between them and their advisors. And right or wrong, I'm actually talking to one. My approach is, I don't want all your money. Just let me have some and see how it performs over the next 2 to 5 years, and then you decide what you want to do with the rest.
And overall, for I think that's how people would most do it to start. But I would never start it that way. I would always start saying your plan is going to be your plan, and learn how to do the plan, because then the plan tells us how to allocate your assets. What you're trying to do is sell an asset, which is okay if that's what you want to do. Then you sell an annuity or you sell money management. But the goal is to then try to be holistic and come up with a plan that will now entail all their assets. Doesn't mean you're going to manage them all, but it needs to entail their whole assets, and then you might just manage a certain amount of them, right? And that's okay. but you want them to look at you as a trusted advisor because you just said something that was really powerful that everyone really needs to hear, and that is as you're going through the educational model and you think about how they thought first, well, you don't have what it takes to manage the money, or you're not capable, or they're not confident. When you go through the educational model, they start thinking that their current advisor isn't competent enough to manage their money. Right? That's what you're doing. You're putting that wedge in there because they're like, my current advisor doesn't even know any of this stuff. They've never talked to me about this. They didn't care to go through this. They didn't show me the fees. They didn't show me the risk. So it proves that their current advisor is incompetent. And you have to have that attitude of confidence on your end, not cocky, but just a confidence that you know more than the other advisor does, and you're going to help them more, and that's what will get the clients to move over.
Well, that's that wedge approach. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Anybody else want to come on without being called? Because we have maybe enough for one more person.
Dan, I have a question for you. Harry Panosian, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Harry?
Not bad. Hey, quick question for you. Do you do any, I know you do the TV and radio pieces, right? Do you do any other cross-marketing via social media or any display ads to supplement just to
We
brand?
we actually hired AmeriLife's digital team, and we have a full-blown digital campaign that started creation in August of this year, and we are hoping by the end of January everything is built out, including the 1-hour webinar as part of that. Because you have to have all the different, well, you don't have to, we just feel like we have to have all the different legs that are out there, because some people like the seminar, some people like the TV, some people like the radio, some people like digital, some people like reading the books. Whatever it is, we want to make sure that we have it based on how they are telling us they want to learn, and then how they want to access our services.
Right. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing with the help of Jocelyn, Liz. This is for Liz. So I'm talking with Jocelyn, and I find that encouraging. Thank you for that, Dan.
Oh, no, yeah, I like them. I think they do a great job.
I'll let her know.
Hey, Debbie.
Hey, having my seminars in January, my first two, and I got the proof today for the mailer, and it's suggesting anyone at 250 or more in assets. And when I initially inquired with them, it was always 500 and above, and that's kind of the target I would like. I don't know why they, reduce it to 250, but what's your opinion?
Change it.
Okay, bump it back up, because there's assets out there, so I'm like,
yeah, tell them no, change it.
Okay.
You want it what you want it to be, and they'll try to weasel. Oh yeah, we need to invite all these people because you'll get a lot more people. I don't care. I don't want those people. I want the people, if I'm you, that have the 500,000 or more. So you tell them to change that stuff.
okay, perfect, thanks.
We are at the top of the hour. So I think, anything else, Dan, before we sign off for the year?
I think everyone could just use the time that a lot of us are going to have off to just focus on what happened this year, and were we happy with the results. And if you weren't, that's okay. Don't take it as a negative. Take it as the impetus to look forward to 2025. If you were happy with 2024, then say, okay, now how in the heck am I going to make 2025 better? Right? And you focus on those things, because you want to come out of the gate quick in January and February and March. They're good months all the way through May to market. You want to get out there. You want to get it set up now, because that's going to set the tone for the entire 2025. You can do like us. We did basically a year's worth of business in 10 weeks. Well, what if you can do a year's worth of business the same in 3 months? January, February, March, or February, March, and April. How would that make the rest of the year feel like? Pretty good.
Game changer for sure. All right, well, thank you. Happy holidays to everybody, and we will see everyone in the new year.
Sounds good. Have a
Happy
great
holiday,
time.
Elizabeth. Happy holiday, Sir Dan.
Happy
Dan,
holiday.
and everybody.
Thank you. Merry
Thank you for
Christmas, y'all.
inspiring us.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry
See you
Christmas.
next year. Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas. Take care.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.